Hello everyone, thanks for tuning into our Friday night live stream. So we're going to be here for around 30 minutes, 20-30 minutes, and have a bit of fun, a little bit of a laugh on this Friday evening. We're going to check out the 12Z runs and see what the GFS, BGM and the ECMWF were showing for 12Z runs on this Friday evening. And just generally have a bit of a laugh. I probably won't take any questions with this, or certainly not many. We do that on a Wednesday and also on a Sunday. But you know, just let everybody check in and have a bit of fun on a Friday evening as we move into the beginning of the weekend. If people enjoy it, then this could become a regular feature on a Friday night. Of course, we're trying out new things at the moment on the channel, as I'm sure you've noticed. You know, we're trying out different features. So we've brought back the European Outlook. We're doing a forecast for the United States. We're doing a lot more live streaming than we have been doing over the past few months and years. So just trying out new things, really see how we get on, and see what the response is, really. So I hope you're enjoying the new content and the updated content of different things that we're doing at the moment. So, yeah, that's what we'll be doing tonight. Now, of course, we've got the live chat, so people can sort of get involved with the chat and, you know, have a discussion with one another as well within the live chat. So, yeah, it's kind of like a community feel, really, hopefully, so everybody can get together, have a chat, and yeah, it should be hopefully a little bit of entertainment on your Friday evening. I see we've got quite a few people with us right now, so it's just gone 10:10 on a Friday evening. We've got 25 people with us, so hello and thank you very much to everybody for tuning in this evening. So Ibby is saying that Ibby's made a stream at last, so congratulations for making one of our live streams, Ibby. I hope you enjoy the live stream. I hope we're able to entertain you for a little while. I've also got Dylan Holbrook with us saying, evening Gab, been a stunning day in Essex with mainly sunny skies and finally warm enough temperatures to be outside. How was my day? How was your day? My day was very good, Dylan. I've put out a little bit of me sweet corn. So I've been in the garden and been doing a little bit of gardening, and I'll put my sweet corn out. Hopefully we won't have any more frost. I think we're more or less done. I think we're more or less done now with the frost. But yeah, we can't guarantee that, of course, until you get into June, really. So you know, it's still a little bit early for like sweet corn and runner beans, really. But at some point, you just have to bite the bullet and go for it. And I've done that today with some of my sweet corn. The rest's going to go out next week, and runner beans will be going out next week as well. iTech is saying that I'm keeping entertained on a Friday evening, so thank you, iTech. Please, I'm able to entertain you. Max Crazy Storm is asking if we can have a look at the 2-meter charts from the ECM for next week. We are going to go through the 12Z, Max. We're going to look at Wetter Central. We may have a look at the 2-meter temperatures from WX charts as well, based on the ECM run. I'll see. I've got the website up, so we'll see what we do then. Chris Taylor is saying it's only just beginning to get dark where I am. Yes, indeed, Chris. It's certainly, you know, it's certainly sort of light nights now, isn't it? So, yeah, it's coming up. Not going to be around a month, isn't it? Just over a month before we reach the longest day. So, certainly very, very long days now and short nights, which of course makes the frost that we've had over the past few nights all the more remarkable. Really, it has been remarkably frosty over the past few nights. I think I heard that Northern Ireland went down to something like -6. Did anybody else hear about -6 in Northern Ireland the other night? Not last night, I think it was the night before. and that was the lowest May temperature in Northern Ireland since for around 40 years, since the early 1980s. So absolutely remarkable to get a temperature as low as that, -6, when when the nights are so short and the days are so long. So yes, really remarkable stuff. Chris Taylor is with us, saying it's only just beginning to get no, done that of course. Neil Cutler is with us, my good friend Neil, saying evening Gavin, everyone, clear skies, only just dark, annoyingly cloudy most of the day though, still on the chilly side. Yeah, it was a little bit on the cloudy side here as well, Neil, actually. So it started off nice, and the early part of the morning was nice. Then the cloud sort of filled in. The cloud filled in. I mean, it wasn't till around 4 o'clock, but it finally brightened up. When the sun came out, it was actually quite warm. Shiram is with us, saying good evening, Gavin. So good evening, Shiram. Thank you for being with us this evening for our Friday night late live stream. Alan Petru is in with us as well, saying hi, Gav. Great to see you. Great to see the live stream on a Friday night. Yeah, we're going to see how it goes, Alan. If we build up a little bit of a following, I think this will be a rather different sort of following to what we get in the daytime. Saying not going to be answering questions with this one, because I just want to wind down, have a bit of a relax, have a little bit of fun as we move into the beginning of the weekend. But if we build up a following with the Friday night live stream, then I see absolutely no reason why it shouldn't become like a very frequent feature. I wouldn't say it'll be a weekly feature, but I can't see any reason why it shouldn't become a very regular feature anyway. So we'll just see how it goes, see how people respond to it. And of course, I have said that when we go to GMT, which will be at the end of October, when we go into GMT, then we will probably start live streaming the pub run, the 18Z, on a Friday night. We can't do that now because the 18Z doesn't actually start coming out until 10:30, and it's not completely out until midnight. So well, I'm not going to keep you here until midnight, don't worry. But when we're in GMT, then everything will update an hour earlier. So the 18Z will then update from 9:30 until sort of 11:15, 11 o'clock, and that will be much more doable then to be able to live stream the pub run. So we will do that on a Friday evening when we get into the end of October, but for the time being, we're just going to have a bit of a laugh, bit of fun, and see how everyone is doing. In around 5 minutes or so, we'll have a look at the 12Z and see how they're looking. Did everybody see today's week to 10-day video update? It was we had that very hot ECM run show up. Sort of the midnight ECM was aimed on a really hot note. It looked like it was setting up a heat wave. I hope everybody managed to see the week to 10 video update, because it's the first one sort of the season that was setting up like a genuine sort of spell of really hot weather and hot southerly winds. So but the other models weren't anywhere near that. So the GFS in particular was a lot more unsettled, and the GM was somewhere in between the GFS and the ECM. So uncertainty, and probably all down to what's going on in the tropical Atlantic more than anything else. We've got a developing sort of system that may be named as a tropical storm tomorrow. It could be Tropical Storm Arthur, which is very early for that to happen. And when this takes place, when you get tropical storms and whatnot appearing in the tropical Atlantic, then it throws everything else into a little bit of chaos, and I think that's probably what's going on with the model output more than anything else at the moment. Okay, let's scroll down and have a look at who else is with us today. So, again, same idea, I'll go through the live chat as you're posting, and it does have a tendency to sort of pull down to the last comment, if you see what I mean. So, I'm going to get back to where I was, and that is in fact what has just happened, but it pulled down. So, I think we got to Alan, didn't we? So, yeah, we've got Mark Mark Hodgson with us, saying good evening. So good evening, Mark. Thank you for being with us this evening. And also Philip is with us as well, saying evening, Gav. Evening, all. Lovely, calm evening here in Shropshire. It's not been a bad evening here either, Philip. The wind dropped out and it brightened up after quite a cloudy afternoon. So it's been quite, quite a nice afternoon. Or late afternoon, early evening here. We're hovering around 40 concurrent viewers, so thank you everybody for being with us this evening. As I say, in a few minutes we'll have a look at the 12Z and see how they're looking, and that should be a bit of fun, and we'll have a look at that very shortly. I've also got Kevin Barber with us as well, saying looking forward to the warming trend on offer next week. Yes, it looks like it's going to warm up, Kevin. It remains to be seen how long for and how warm it gets, but definitely looks as though things will be warming up as we go through next week. We've also got Ellie Trish K saying evening all, evening Gab, being lovely and warm here in Somerset all day. Thank you for being with us, Ellie. So it sounds like you've had a better day there than we've had here. We've been rather cool and rather cloudy, I have to say. Iceman is with us saying hi, yeah. So good evening, Iceman. Thank you for being with us this evening. We've got Sharky Train and Passion Fruit in with us as well. And my good friend City Andy is saying hello and good evening. Gavin Wilcox is with us also, saying hello, Gavin. So hello, Gavin. Thank you for being with us this evening. Always Fair is with us as well, saying, do you think low pressure will push in on Thursday? We're going to have a look at 12Z very shortly, Always There, and we'll see what the 12Z has to say about developments through next week very, very soon. Callum is with us. Thank you for doing another live stream, so that's absolutely fine, Callum. As I say, we're trying out new things, trying out new content, see how we get on, see what sort of interest we get. I say we're up to 44 concurrent viewers, so that's not bad at 20 past 10. On a Friday evening, so thank you everybody for being with us. Another couple of minutes and we'll have a look at some 12Z data. Don't forget you can get involved with one another in the chat. You can sort of have a conversation as well. This is going to be very informal, really, these Friday night live streams, so if you want to have a chat then that's absolutely fine. Kieran Bushell is with us saying, hi Gav, locked away my home office today, watching the pigeons nesting while trying to get on with some work. Poked my head out of the door and it definitely felt a bit warmer. Don't talk to me about pigeons, Kieran, as a gardener. They are not my favourite bird, I have to say. They do have a tendency to like attack and eat my plants, my greens, so I'm not overly keen on pigeons, shall we say. But thank you for being with us, my friend. And I've sort of been quite busy myself today, but not doing office work out in the garden. Katrine is with us as well. Katrine Beso is with us, saying there's not been any frost in Thurrock yet. You've been very, very lucky, Katrine, not to get any frost. We've also got Dan Boyles with us as well, saying, evening all, hope you're safe and well. Yes, Dan, I'm absolutely fine. I hope everybody else is doing okay. These are still sort of troubled times where we are beginning to ease our way out of lockdown, of course, now, but still rather troubled times, you have to say. And hopefully everybody is keeping safe and well. Kevin Barber saying his runner beans are all good, no frost damage. You've been very lucky there, Kevin. I suppose it's because you're on the coast, so it's always that little bit warm, a little bit less cold over on the coast, isn't it? So we've also got Mark Kinish with us saying, did you know, Gavin, it was the coldest May night for 40 years since 1980. Yes, I had heard that, actually, Mark. I had heard that it had been a really quite a cold night. So that was over in Northern Ireland, of course. Lowest minimum temperature for 40 years. Really quite remarkable. Gavin Wilcox is saying, do you think this year is heading for extreme year of weather? Already we've seen extremely wet winter and now very dry spring, possibly heading for a drought. I think there are certainly shades of 1995 at the moment, Gavin. So I'm getting like a 1995 feel, I have to say. About things, very mild, wet winter, very zonal westerly winter, now into really dry spring. But it remains to be seen whether this sort of 1995 feel carries on into, whether it carries on into the summer or not. That does remain to be seen, of course. Quite a few new names with us tonight as well, so thank you so much, everybody, for being with us. We're going to get to around 10:30, and then we'll have a look at the 18Z and see how things are looking. So we've got Stephen Sambarino, I think that is, Stephen Sambarino, saying good evening, Gavin. Good evening, Stephen. Thank you so much for being with us tonight, my friend. And I saw another new name, Arcade Tips, is with us as well. So good evening, Arcade Tips. Thank you so much for being with us tonight. We've also got Brian Sedgwick, another new name, saying good evening, Gav, from Eastleigh. Good evening, Brian. Thank you so much for being with us. I see we've ticked up to over 50 concurrent viewers right now. So thank you so much, everybody, for being with us this evening. That's absolutely great. So I think we'll definitely keep on these Friday night live streams. I wasn't sure whether I'd just be sitting here, sitting here talking to dead air, actually, but it seems like we've got quite a following here for these Friday night live streams, so we'll definitely keep them up. But as I say, much more informal than what we do on a Wednesday and a Sunday. So I'm not taking many questions and that sort of thing, but we're just having a bit of a laugh, bit of a chill, and see how we're all getting on. Savvy is with us. Our moderator Savvy has joined us. So good evening, Savvy. Thank you so much for being with us tonight. Savvy saying those cold nights were interesting. Yes, we certainly had. Well, interesting is one word for it, Savvy. I'm not sure that's the word I'd use for it as a gardener. It's caused all sorts of problems with me potatoes, I have to say. I've been desperately trying to mound them up, cover them up, keep the leaves safe from the frost. They have been a little bit nipped, though, I have to say, my potato leaves. They have been rather burned by the frost, but they're okay. They'll be fine. They're only just sort of nosing up out of the soil. So where they've sort of been burned, they'll sort of wither away, and then they'll sort of reshoot. So potatoes are quite robust. They don't like frost at all. But they're pretty robust, and they'll come back. So I'm not overly worried about them. Thankfully, I haven't put any sort of anything really delicate out, but that will just be killed by frost. I haven't put anything like runner beans or sweet corn out. So if I had, I'd be a lot more worried about it. But as it is, it's only really the potatoes that have been burned a little bit by the frost, and I'm not overly worried about that. They'll reshoot. Callum's asking, was there any thunderstorms in the summer of 1995? It was a very hot summer, Callum. So there were some thunderstorms. Does anybody else remember about thunderstorms in 1995? Not really widespread storms, because it was a drought summer, but there were like hit and miss thunderstorms, and some places did have flooding, but I can't remember all that much about it, actually. In terms of thunder, all I remember is just it was so hot, day after day after day, just heat baking the ground. The grass sort of died and turned brown. Although the great thing about grass is that whatever you throw at it, it will come back. Grass will always sort of come back, whatever you throw at it. You can even, even when you have a fire, when you have like a scrub fire, after a year or two, the grass will just regrow and come back. So whatever you throw at grass, it will nearly always come back. And very quickly, as we went into a wet September after that hot summer, the grass came back. But I don't really remember all that much about thunder in the summer of 1995. But I don't know whether anybody else remembers about that, but we certainly didn't have many thunderstorms here where I am in Northants, that's for sure. So we'll do a little bit of screen capturing now, shall we? Let's have a look at the 12Z. So I think given everybody enough time to check in who wants to be with us. So we're up to 51 concurrent viewers, so that's pretty decent. I think pretty decent turnout. So yeah, let's go over to Wetters Entry and we'll have a quick look at the 12Z. So I've got to remember what to do with this. I've got to turn off the image and enable display capture. There we go, and we're live streaming. So this is 12Z. Hopefully everybody can see it. This is 12Z GFS. I'll just make sure that you can all see it. So I can't confirm whether you can all see it, but hopefully you all can. So this is 12Z GFS, and let's see what it's going to show. So we begin, of course, today with a ridge of high pressure building up from the southwest, bringing plenty of dry weather, and this high pressure continues into Saturday, and it's also there on Sunday as well. The high pressure is sort of centred over and to the south of the country, with lower pressure kind of up to the north. Actually, Sunday could turn quite wet across Scotland, but for England away, as it should be, a mainly dry and quite warm day. Nice reach from the Azores as we go through into Monday, so that will bring increasingly warm weather to England and Wales. Temperatures into below 20 Celsius by that. Still also a little bit mixed across Scotland. We go through to Tuesday, the Azores high sort of inflates and intensifies, pushes northwards, and that brings us all a lot of dry weather then as we go through into Tuesday. Moving through to Wednesday. So again, the emphasis on high pressure sitting over and just to the east of the country. Plenty of dry and fine conditions there. Winds are sort of shifting around more towards the southeast. That should bring loads of dry weather, plenty of sunshine, and I think temperatures should be really quite warm with that as well. Then a bit of a breakdown beginning to take place on Thursday. So the GFS still looking rather unsettled as we come towards the end of next week. This trough coming in from the Atlantic could be the trigger for heavy showers or thunderstorms. Just depends on how the trough interacts with the ridge. But it could be the trigger for some heavy showers and downpours there. Then by Friday, moving in towards Bank Holiday weekend, we start to turn wind into the west. It turns cooler and more showery. Let's see where we go after that. So we begin to turn more unsettled now, moving into Bank Holiday weekend. This is Saturday, 23rd of May. Low pressure then is starting to come in from off the Atlantic. Let's see if we can go out another 24 hours, so this should take us through to Sunday, 24th of May, and again, look at this, low pressure is coming in off the Atlantic, so it is turning rapidly more unsettled, really, as we move in towards the day 10 time frame. Turns significantly more unsettled as we get to day 10, which is Monday the 25th of May. Low pressures properly barreling in from off the Atlantic. This sort of cool, wet, unsettled, not very good at all. We're coming towards the end of May now. We have low pressure centred over and to the east of the country. High pressure is out to the northwest. Winds are in from a northerly direction, so cool and unsettled really sums it up. But we eventually, by the very end of this GFS run, start to find our way back towards some higher pressure. Again, we begin to build the ridge back in from the Atlantic, so we finish up this GFS run on a drier and warmer note. However, the GFS is not pulling up any significant heat as we go into the day 8, 9, 10 time frame as the ECM was this morning. So that's that one done. Let's have a look at the GEM, shall we? So we'll have a very quick look at that. So again, we've got the ridge building in from off the Atlantic today, of course. Then we move through to Sunday. High pressure in the south, low pressure to the north. Winds are in from a west-southwesterly direction. It should be pretty warm down in the south. Could be a little bit unsettled up in the north. We go through to Tuesday, and then the high pressure is building up across the country, bringing loads of dry and warm weather with it. And then into Thursday, so high pressure sort of sticking around the country again, bringing plenty of dry and fine weather. High pressure is centering over to the east of the country. Winds are pulling in from a south-southeast direction, so increasingly warm as we go through next week. I'll probably lift temperatures to the mid-20s Celsius quite easily, I would have thought. Moving up to a week out, that's Friday the 22nd of May. Again, high pressure is to our east, low pressure to the west, and up comes those southerly winds. So this looks hotter. The GEM looks hotter than the GFS. And more settled as well into the second half of next week. I think that definitely gets temperatures into the mid-20s Celsius. Possibly it could get temperatures into the upper 20s Celsius. If we have a look at the upper air temperatures, they are very warm to hot actually by the end of next week with the GM. So the GM is not breaking this reach down as fast as the GFS, and it is quite a lot hotter too. Do we ever really get a breakdown? Probably not, actually. The high pressure sits over and to the east of the country as we go through to Saturday, this Saturday, 23rd of May. Winds are still in from like a southeast direction, mainly dry, fine, and you would have thought quite hot with that. And then moving up towards day 10, sort of high pressure is over Scandinavia to our east, low pressure to the west. Winds are in from a southerly direction. So the GM never really breaks down this high pressure. It never really turns us all that unsettled. And it is very warm for the end of next week and the bank holiday weekend. The GM is very warm for the end of the bank holiday weekend. The end of next week and into bank holiday weekend. And we've got the ECMWF, and this is what the ECM is showing. So again, we've got the ridge building up from southwest on Saturday, tomorrow. So that's settling us down, turning us increasingly dry and warm. Going through to Monday, high pressure is centred over to the south of the country, low pressure to the north. So still quite unsettled for Scotland on Monday, mainly dry and potentially very warm for England and Wales. That is Tuesday with the ECM. Again, the high pressure is pushing up from the south, bringing lots of dry and very warm weather with it. We go through into Wednesday, the high pressure centred over to the east of the country, very warm to hot on Wednesday, potentially. I think temperatures easily may reach the mid-20s Celsius. Through to Thursday, again, it looks like it's starting to turn more unsettled. Low pressure is out to west, high pressure is to the northeast. So probably the ECM is shifting more towards the solution of the GFS. Although having said that, we're going through to Friday now. And again, we've got the ridge of high pressure from the southwest. It's pushing up towards the high pressure to the northeast. Low pressure is out in the Atlantic. That looks mainly dry and potentially very warm as well, I have to say. And then moving through to Saturday, 23rd of May. Again, same idea, low pressure out to the northwest, plenty of high pressure to our south and southeast. So keeps things pretty dry and warm there. Possibly a little bit more showery, maybe a little bit more thundery then as we go through into the weekend. There's a trough of low pressure on Sunday the 24th of May, sort of centred over top of the country, so that could bring some showery conditions. And by the time we get through to day 10, we're introducing a cooler and more showery westerly flow. So that's out of line with the midnight run, because by day 10 with the midnight run, the ECM was turning very hot, was poised to turn things very hot. That looks much cooler and much more unsettled. But there is quite a bit of warm to hot weather that's in there with the ECM. If you have a look at the upper air temperatures, you can see that, like, we're pushing a plus 10 Celsius isotherm up across the country through the middle and the second half of the next week. So plenty warm enough. It's enough to get temperature into the low 20s. I wouldn't rule out sort of mid to upper 20s Celsius actually through the second half of next week with the ECM. It will depend on sunshine amounts, of course, but certainly very warm weather on the way next week with the ECM. The GFS continues to be the cooler of the solutions and more unsettled as well. And then we've got the GM, which tonight is probably the warmest of the solutions. Somebody asked me to have a look. I think it's Max Crazy Storm asked if we could have a look at the 2 meter temperatures from the ECM. So we'll just do that very quickly before we wrap up this period of screen sharing. So let's have a look at those. This is from the website wxcharts.com, by the way. So these are our maximum temperatures on Tuesday. So looking pretty warm. Temperatures in those yellow colours going into the 20s Celsius as we go through into Tuesday. Go through to Wednesday's maximum temperatures, hopefully, or maybe that's Thursdays. So let's see if we can work out what's going on there. So Wednesday's maximum temperatures look like that. So sort of mid-20s Celsius being forecast there, particularly for England and Wales. Not sure if you can see this, maybe you can't, but maximum temperatures are sort of mid to upper 20s Celsius for England and Wales there, I think, on Wednesday, certainly mid-20s Celsius anyway. That's Thursday, so even warmer on Thursday, going into those darker orange colours. That's taking us sort of 27, perhaps 28 degrees possible down in that southeastern corner on the temperature scale. Still very warm in the southeast on Friday, beginning to turn a bit cooler out in the north and in the west too. And then by the time you get through to Saturday, it is turning cooler from off the Atlantic. But it does suggest mid-20s Celsius temperatures are certainly very, very possible. They're very possible through the middle and second half of next week, and I wouldn't totally rule out the chance of upper 20s Celsius actually sometime around Thursday or Friday next week. So really quite warm indeed. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that little look at the 12Z. That's what they're all showing today. So let's see what you've been making of all of that. So I see you've been hovering around 60 people while I've been doing that period of screen sharing. So thank you everybody for tuning in. So I'm quite surprised, as always, by the response when we're live streaming. It certainly seems like you all like to have a live stream. And we're going to make this a regular Friday evening feature, I think. It's a lot more informal than what we do in the afternoons. But having a bit of fun, having a bit of a laugh looking up at 12Z. And I think we're going to make this a regular feature. So before we wrap things up, I won't keep you here much longer. Maybe we'll stay until around 10 to 11. And then we'll wrap things up. But I can see that we have had quite a few comments. We've been quite busy in the chat. So Stephen is saying that Stephen is from the Weather Outlook. So yes, of course. I go a long way back. I've been round the block a long time on the weather scene, so I go all the way back to the days of the Weather Outlook forum, and even before that, the BBC. Anybody remember the BBC Snowwatch forum around 2000, 2001? That's as far back as I go, so I've been around the block for a very, very long time. But really, most of my time until I had Gaz Weathers was spent on the Weather Outlook and the forum there. So I've got many, many friends and many great memories from the Weather Outlook. Thank you, Stephen, for being with us. Savvy's asking about me spuds, so they're okay, Savvy. They'll be fine. They're going to reshoot, I think. So they have been a little bit nicked, a little bit burned, but I think they'll be okay. I think they'll come back all right. Anita is with us from the Solent. So plenty of new names with us tonight as well. It's always great to see lots of new names. So thank you, Anita, for being with us. And we've also got Thibaut Jones with us saying, I remember some cracking storms in 95. I'm sure there were some big storms around in the summer of 1995. Thibaut. So we didn't catch any here in Northants, where I am, but I'm sure there were big thunderstorms triggered by the heat, but they were scattered, I think, a lot of the time, and quite hit and miss. Callum saying had cracking autumn storms in September of last year. Alpha SB is with us, saying good evening, SB. Thank you. Saying hello, so good evening, SB. Thank you for being with us. Paul Cooper is with us as well, saying there was one very big thunderstorm in the northwest of England in July of 1995. I remember hearing there up to 3 inches of rain. I remember there was quite a bit of flooding, hit and miss type flooding, through that summer. Paul. So yes, I think there was some pretty decent thunderstorms that were hit and miss through that summer. Gavin Wilcox is saying early 2000s were great for thunderstorms. We had a lot of them back then in South Wales. A storm back in August of 2001. I'll never forget, as it lasted 2 days. I haven't seen it happen again since. That sounds certainly like a tremendous thunderstorm, Gavin, and I shudder to think how much rain and flooding that would have given us. Savvy saying that he wants some hot weather and wants to be able to get a good tan. I think you're going to be okay, Savvy, next week. I've got to say, you know what I'm going to say. We've spoken about this before, but as a weatherman, I can't sort of endorse people getting suntans. The sun can be damaging to the skin. But if anybody wants to get a suntan, I think they'll be okay being able to do that next week. But I'm not endorsing it, if you see what I mean. As a weatherman, I have to be, careful with endorsing people's sunbathing and whatnot. But if anybody does want a suntan, and I'm not endorsing, I'm not saying that you should do it, but if anybody does want one, then, I think next week you're going to be okay for that. We'll do one or two more and then we'll wrap things up. So thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in on this Friday evening. I hope we've managed to entertain you, and I hope you've had a nice Friday evening with us for a little while as we wind down the week and move into the weekend. So now I never know how to pronounce this. So it's ERQGI. So I think that's sort of Eriki or Ergi. Saying here in Finland we expect cool to normal summer, rarely warm winter after warm winter. I think that should be rarely warm summer after a warm winter. So of course, yes, it's very mild winter across northern Europe, wasn't it? Moving down through the chat, we can see that Jamie is with us saying, not a fan of warm or hot weather, but dry weather suits me. So, yeah, there's going to be plenty of that on offer next week as well, Jamie. Henry W. saying, bring on a wet summer, too much dry weather going on. People who want to keep it dry all the time are quite selfish, as farmers and gardeners need steady rain. Well, again, there's lots of varying views about the weather, Henry. People like what they like and dislike what they don't like. But, I wouldn't say anybody's selfish for wanting the weather to stay dry, although I need the rain for my garden. But I wouldn't necessarily say anybody is selfish for wanting the weather to stay dry and fine. And on the other hand, if people just who don't like dry weather and want it to keep raining, I wouldn't say they are selfish either. People just like what they like, and at the end of the day, the weather will do whatever it wants to do anyway. So whatever our preference is, be it hot or dry or wet and cool, mild in the winter, cold in the winter, ultimately it's the weather gods who decide, isn't it? So it's the weather gods who decide. And whatever we wish for has no bearing or impact on the overall outcome. So people are perfectly free to enjoy whatever weather they want, really, because at the end of the day, it doesn't make any difference to like the overall outcome anyway. So let's see. I see we've got a few more names with us. So plenty of new names showing up. Going to wind this down in a couple of minutes. Plenty of new names showing up, though. So thank you everybody for being with us. You see, we're definitely going to keep the Friday evening live streams going to ease you into your weekend, because it does seem that we've had a pretty decent response here. So we've got saw a couple of new names. So Krauser retracted a message. I'm not sure what that was about. Brian McKellar is with us. So good evening, Brian, saying hello, Gav. Anyone experienced or seen ball lightning? No, it's not something I've experienced actually. That's not something I've experienced actually, Brian. Sharky Trone saying, love your weather forecast, Gav. Thank you so much, Sharky. That's really cool. And Dylan is asking, what's Dylan saying? Dylan's saying, very excited about Patel Peng's Winter 2020-21 forecast models this Sunday. Yes, Dylan. Now, that's going to be very, very interesting. So I think that's where we're going to end this live stream. And I'll just say that our next live stream is going to be on Sunday afternoon at 5 o'clock. And of course, we'll be taking questions and whatnot, and allowing everybody to get involved in the live chat. But one of the things we will feature in Sunday's live stream will be the latest analogs update from Patel Peng, Patel working within the umbrella of NOAA, of course. So you're going to get to see on Sunday what Patel Peng is forecasting for the winter 2020-21 this month. I think that will be quite an interesting watch, hopefully. And that's going to be pretty fun. Before I go, I've just got Ken with me saying, I literally came across your channel 10 minutes ago. I was looking for a good long-range forecast. Check out the videos, Ken. Check out the videos. We do short, medium, and long-range live streams. So it's all out there on the channel for you. Hope you enjoy it. Subscribe to the channel. You'll be notified when we release new content, when we live streams. And yes, I hope you enjoy the channel and the videos and the content. So next live stream is on Sunday. We'll be looking at Patel Peng's analogs for the winter of 2020-21 there, as well as other things in that live stream. That's 5 o'clock Sunday evening. I think it's going to be quite a busy stream. We shall see, but I think that will be quite a busy one with Patel Peng's Winter 2020-21 analogs. Before that, though, plenty coming up. So we've got the weekend forecast. Tomorrow we'll have a 10-day video update, and we'll also have an update for Bank Holiday weekend as well, I think, tomorrow. Sunday, it'll be Gas Over Study Roundup, of course, and we'll have some summer analogs for you. Looking at ENSO for this update. So ENSO summer analogs will be up at 10 AM on Sunday morning, and then of course we're live streaming from 5 o'clock. Have a great evening and a great weekend, everybody. Thank you so much to Savvy for moderating the stream. That's great. Thank you so much for being with us tonight, Savvy. Really, really great, my friend. And with that, I'll just say have a great evening, and we'll end the live stream there. Thanks, everybody, for being with us. And stay safe, stay well, and we'll see you on Sunday.